Becky, my channel's What Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all happy, I hope you're all healthy, and I hope you've all had plenty of time to sew. So today is a Friday Sews where I am going to talk about what I've been up to in the world of making, what I've been up to in the world of purchasing, and what I've been up to in the world of plans. So let's start off with what I am wearing, shall we? I have a sweatshirt on which is made in this gorgeous pink sweatshirting fabric that I got from First for Fabrics last year. It's really snuggly and warm. I made this, I think it was last month or might have been the month before in January, and it's just the Ellie & Mac oversized adult tee, which is a favourite go-to pattern of mine, but I've made it into a sweatshirt and it's actually very comfy. And I'm working from home today, so I've got it paired with a pair of leggings and it's lovely and comfortable and it's perfect for what I need, and I just love this colour. I have dogs all around me, so they may interrupt at points or just for a bit of fuss. That's what I'm wearing. Now let's talk about what I've been making this week. I've had an interesting week of making things. I have been quite productive. I had a very unusual situation last weekend where I only ended up with, well, I didn't end up with any children for one night and one day, and I had no Scott as well, so I had the house to myself. And rather than do what I would normally do when I've got no children and no Scott, which is subject myself to getting all the housework done, I decided that I was going to take the time for me, and it kind of took me back to the weekend that I had a sewing retreat where I just sewed all day. Therefore, I got a few different things made up, and one of those things that I got made up is a pair of Pomona pants by Anna Allen Patterns. I'll pop the pattern in here so you can see what it looks like. This is a favourite go-to of mine, and I've made this in a fabric that I purchased recently, and this is this gorgeous sort of jacquard type fabric. Oh, I've got too much behind me, just bear with me. So these worked out quite well. They are a little bit big on me. I don't know quite why they're a bit big on me. I think I've made a size up from the normal size that I would make because I am slightly bigger and the other ones are all snug on me. And I've actually ended up with these now being too loose on me. But these are the pants. You can see here they've got just this gorgeous sort of houndstooth jacquard effect. I actually put in, I've worn these, sorry, because I wore them to work, which is why they're a little bit creased, but I put a crease line down this front of hip just to make them look that little bit smarter. And then what I have done differently from the pattern, which is what I do with all of these trousers, is I have top stitched across the top. I love the look it actually gives. But I think it helps keep the elastic up. I have included pockets in these as well. And this is just such a nice, simple, easy sew. I always make the wide leg version. I got my colleague to take a couple of pictures of me when I was in the office. So sorry, they're not my normal sort of Instagram posing pictures, but they are pictures that were taken of me in the office. And I was pairing these with one of my Marni blouses made in the Mountain Accents fabric, Godmother fabric, which you can't get anywhere now. But I absolutely love these. Like I said, they are a little bit big on me, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I spent a lot of time, because one of the things this pattern actually has is a really nice top stitching detail just to make them look a little bit more professional. So I don't know how well this is going to come up, but you can top stitch all of the inseam down. So underneath you're essentially top stitching this down. And it just creates this really, really nice sort of professional finished look. You do the same in the crotch area as well. So if you can see here, it's just got this lovely finish to it. There you go. You can just see it. And it just adds a little bit of extra to the make. I really do love this pattern, and I did pop a label in, just made in me time. Like I said, I made that up and it took me probably about 2 hours to do. I was quite surprised at how quick that came together. Maybe not even 2 hours. It is such a quick and simple sew. One I highly recommend. That was the first thing I got made up. I'm really, really pleased with them. I feel like although they're a little bit big, they will do for me in my wardrobe. And then if I continue to lose weight, I will just give them to somebody else that they will fit and keep company, because they're really, really, really well made. Okay, my next make on Saturday was an accidental So Yellow for Endo entry. So Yellow for Endo is a challenge that's being run through the month of March. There is a vlogging tour around it. I'm not part of that vlogging tour. I really support this challenge and I would have entered either way. It's all about endometriosis, which is a condition that 1 in 10 women suffer from here in the UK, and it's not talked about. It's just one of those conditions that gets brushed under the carpet. It's put down to women's problems. It's the theory behind it. But I can tell you, for somebody that had 4 operations to have endometrial tissue removed from my womb between the ages of 18 and 30, it is a big deal. And it then became that debilitating for me that at the age of 32, I had a partial hysterectomy. And they left my ovaries in because of my age. They didn't want to put me into surgical menopause, and they removed all the endometrial tissue at the same time. It didn't work. Within 9 months, I was back in pain, and this time I couldn't function and I couldn't walk. It got that bad. So it resulted in me at the age of 34 having a full hysterectomy. But it don't end there. Even though I've had a full hysterectomy, I have been told, and I am on a certain element or combination of HRT, which is supposed to prevent the regrowth of endometrial tissue. So even though I've had everything removed there, I'm on a drug for the rest of my life to try and help remove the possibility that it will come back. But that's not to say that it will come back. And a hysterectomy is kind of like the final straw, the last go-to. So that's not to say that at some point in my life again, I'm not going to have debilitating problems from this condition that is not widely spoken of, that is not widely respected, in my opinion, and is put down to being another woman's problem. So the idea of raising awareness through the month of March with So Yellow for Endo is to promote and openly talk about women's health so people can actually go and get diagnosed. It is being taken more seriously than it used to be. It is something that is becoming more aware, and it's campaigns like this that are being run that is helping it. So if you don't get the opportunity to, I really, really encourage you to take part as a sewist in So Yellow for Endo. You just need to sew something yellow, and you can enter it on the 23rd of March, post it on Instagram and make a donation, which will go to the charity that Jess supports in raising awareness. So I do recommend it. Let's talk about the accidental make that I made. And I say accidental because I didn't realise there was yellow in the fabric. So this will be my entry. This is the Zadie jumpsuit, which is a favourite go-to of mine. I was in the mood for making things up that are favourites of mine. Here she is in all her glory. I love this fabric. So this fabric came from Abercarn Fabrics when Adele and I took a detour on our way to our sewing weekender retreat. It was out of one of the baskets. It's just a viscose. It's not quite a chalet. It's definitely got a little bit more body to it, but it is still quite a lightweight viscose. This pattern's just lovely. I have made this in the same size that I made just before Christmas, which was a size up to what I normally do because I'm carrying a little extra weight. But because I've made it in a viscose fabric, it doesn't matter. I've got another one that I own in viscose that I wear all the time. I'll try and pop a picture of that one in because it's in that viscose fabric. The drape is fine on it. It means that you can get away wearing it. So even as a size down, it's not going to cause me any problems. The Zadie jumpsuit is quite a well-known pattern in the sewing community, and it's really quick and simple to put together. It's got some great techniques to it. The binding can be a little bit tricky on it, but I'd say that's probably the only area that I find tricky on this pattern. I do recommend sizing down in this. My body measurements put me in a size 18. I've sized down to a 16. Now I could have sized down to a 14 and it would have been absolutely fine and would have fit me. This is just my preference of fit at the moment, whilst I feel like I'm carrying a little bit more weight. but a lot of people do size down by 2. I have made a sway back adjustment on this, which I did just before Christmas to the pattern, and all it does is it lifts the shoulders up to where they need to be on my body, and it reduces some of the bulk that I've got going on in the crotch seam. I credit Adele from Sofa Serenity for that sway back adjustment, who helped me do it, and it did just increase the fit of something that I loved wearing prior to even changing the fit, but it just made it fit a lot better. I've made this one so it's the full length, so I've added 6 inches, I think, no, 4 inches to the bottom of the trouser legs to make sure that it gives me a full length, because I really want to wear these with trainers, and I want to wear these now. I want to be able to pair this with a Freya top underneath. I've got a pink Freya top, which I think will go well because the cool tones with this fabric, I think it will blend in. I've also got a navy and a black Freya, so all of them should go with this theoretically. But because it's got these splodges of yellow in it, which I didn't realise or didn't even consider when I was making it up until it was fully made, hence it being an accidental so yellow for endo. Now I've popped one of my absolutely favourite labels in, which says, "You are important, you are enough, and you matter." I just really love that affirmation and that quote. And I feel that goes really well with one of my favourite sort of makes. So this is the Zadie jumpsuit. Hopefully I'll be popping in some pictures here. I haven't actually tried it on yet. I'm going to have to go and do that for you guys and try and pair it up so you can see how I'm likely to wear it. But if you haven't made the Zadie yet, and you're sitting there going and saying you're not quite sure, I really, really, really recommend giving it a go. It is a lovely sew, and I just enjoy it. I've got really into using my rainbow overlocker thread. It just means I haven't got to change my thread and I can continue to make things, but I think it just looks really lovely against the back of here. I feel like the inside of this is as neat as the sewing on the outside. That is my Zadie jumpsuit. I'm in a bit of a Zadie jumpsuit craze at the moment. I feel like all I want to do is make, not Zadie jumpsuit craze, but I feel like all I want to do is make jumpsuits at the moment. It's one of those things that for some reason I'm really enjoying the idea of wearing. They're comfortable, and yeah, they can look really, really nice and well put together. They can look dressy or they can look casual, and I'm really going through a stage, and I'm even thinking about how I can hack certain patterns that I've got at the moment to make them. The last thing I've got to show you that I've made up this week is a blast from the past, so to speak. I had a social gathering or social sewing get together virtually on Sunday night with the Staffordshire social group that I attend. I'm actually going there this weekend. We just had an online event. Not everybody from the group was able to make it, but Adele organised it, and we all jumped on. It was really nice. We had some people dip in, some people dip out. It was just really, really enjoyable to see the faces of all of our lovely friends from that group. And I sat there on Sunday afternoon thinking, what am I going to sew? Because I didn't have anything particularly cut out. I wanted something simple and easy, and I was desperate to use my Lady in the Lake fabric. This is a cotton lawn that I got in one of my Little Miss So-and-So subscription boxes last year. And one of the things that I've been doing, which I'll talk about in a little bit more detail, is sorting through some of my stash at the moment. And I came across this, and I was just in my head, I really, really, really want to make it. Now, my enthusiasm for wanting to make it up has stemmed from the fact that Adele has recently talked about what she's going to make for the Stitch Festival in the lighter colourway of this. And it just reminded me that it was in my stash and I really wanted to make it up. I had 3 meters of it. I didn't really want to make something. It's a cotton lawn that I've got. And with it being a cotton lawn, it has got a little bit more structure. In my head, I went Zadie jumpsuit, but I can't make a Zadie jumpsuit out of every piece of fabric I've got. And I will, you know, eventually get bored of wearing them if I've only got Zadie jumpsuits. So I thought I would try a simple and straightforward pattern, but one that I haven't made for ages. And this is the Tilly and the Buttons Lotta dress. Now, I love this pattern. It's one I've made quite a few times. I've made it in both knit and in woven fabrics. If I can find pictures of the old ones that I've made, I will stick them in. It is definitely a beginner-friendly pattern. It is one that I see a lot of people make. Now, I don't the knit ones are the ones that I like the longer sleeves on, so you can have a bracelet length sleeve on it. And I must admit, I only really like that in the knit because I feel like it just sits and looks a little bit better on the body. Whereas in woven fabrics, I prefer to have just the short dropped shoulder sleeve. This is a great spring going into summer dress. It's just a really nice, can be made in any fabric, and depending on the fabric depends on whether this is a wow piece, whether this is an everyday dress, or whether you really want to make this dressy. So whilst it's a really beginner friendly pattern, it's a really simple pattern. It's really good for not breaking up the lines of a pattern too much, but it's also really straightforward if you are starting to sew, and it's a great quick sew if you're just looking for a quick fix. And I got this done in the time that I was on the social, so I cut this out already. The social had started at 5:30 and it ran till 8:30. Now, so that's 3 hours, but in that time I had also made, I was cooking my dinner, and I'd stopped to eat my dinner and serve all my children and do a dishwasher sort of load up and things. So just to give you an idea of the time I took out of that sewing time, that's how quick I got this made up. The thing that I had left to do when I came off of the call was literally the hem. But I really enjoyed making this. I will pop some pictures and toiles in here of me wearing this. Again, I'm gonna have to go off and get them because I haven't yet done that. I've popped a Perfectly Me label in here. Again, it's just another label I quite like. I thought it was quite good. I've kept the facing on this. There's been a few occasions where I have changed facing for binding. I haven't done that. I've kept the facing. I think with a cotton lawn, it's easy to keep the facing. I've just made sure that I've understitched it and pressed it really well. I might wear this, depending on how I feel, to the Sewing for Pleasure that I've won tickets to, and I've actually had those tickets through the door in a couple of weeks that I'm going to with Adele. Equally, I might wear this on Sunday for Mother's Day. I'm hoping to be out for dinner, although I haven't booked anything. I've left it all till last minute. The other thing I just want to talk about is the skirt. Now, I have made the longer length skirt, but I have trimmed it accordingly to my body. So Tilly's patterns are typically made up for 5'6", and I'm 5'4.5". So I have taken 2 inches off the bottom just to make sure it fits me in the way that I want it to. The other adaptation that I have made to this pattern is I've shortened the bodice length. So I've taken about 2.5 inches out of the bodice length to get that to sit more on my natural waistline without having the overlap of fabric, because I don't like that. I prefer it to look more fitted, and that's how I achieve that look in this process. So that's everything I have got made up this week. I have had some deliveries through the door that I wanted to share with you. Now, the first thing I've had is I've got a hankering for shirring at the moment. I just want to do some shirring, and I needed some shirring elastic. I didn't have any when we were away, and I was doing the bell dress, which requires shirring. Part of the reason why I needed some, because I do want to make another one of them, but I also really want to make the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel dress, and for some reason it's in my head and I can't get it out, so I might have to make that soon. So I went onto Amazon to order some shirring elastics, and they had some really funky colours. So I just bought lots of different colours of it. So I've got a cerise pink and a black. I went for colours I am most likely to use. I've got a nice bright blue and then your normal white. And then I have also got a bright green and another black. So I thought they were quite good. I will leave the link for these down below. I thought they were reasonably priced. They had lots of different colours available, and if you are interested, you can then go off and find them. But they're only from Amazon. I was really pleased with those purchases. The last purchase that I made, I haven't purchased any fabric. I hope you guys are taking note of this, because normally it's fabric that I'm sharing with you. Now, Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl had shared a little while back this gorgeous box that she had been gifted by a friend to hold and store her buttons in. It's got little compartments in it like this that can allow you to store your buttons. So I think initially it is a jewellery box made for earrings predominantly, to have these little storage buttons. It's in this kind of smoky coloured plastic perspex, and it is just 3 drawers, and it's lovely. It's like a cappuccino-y coffee kind of colour to it, but there's just loads of space. You have got so yeah, you've got 24 like compartments to put. I had to do maths really quickly there, and that wasn't going so well. You've got 24 compartments to pop your buttons in. And she shared it again. She had a vlog go up earlier this week, and she talked about it. She talked about what to search, because the first time she'd shared it, I went off and searched lots of different things and I couldn't find it, and it was driving me balmy. Then she talked about what to search, and eventually I found it, and it still took me quite a while to find it on Amazon, to find this particular colour. So I will link down below where I've got this one from and how much it's actually cost me. I have found it cheaper, but not here in the UK, so I'm going to link the one for the UK down below on Amazon. The other one I think I found was on Temu, which is good and reputable, and I think it's about half the price on there. But I got this next day, and I was willing to pay the price that I've paid for it. So I will link that down below in case there's anybody that still hasn't found it and wants a way of storing their buttons really nice and neatly. This would be perfect for you. They're my purchases. The last but not least, let's talk about my plans for the coming week. I have a social engagement on Saturday, so this is tomorrow. I'm going to the lovely Staffordshire Sewist Social, and I'm going to see all of my lovely sewing friends. Although Adele will not be there this weekend, which I'm absolutely gutted. I'm not going to have a fix to see her till next week. And I'm so used to seeing her quite regularly, so it's going to feel really strange not having her there. She will be missed. But we're going, and I have been thinking about what it is I want to get sewn up whilst I am there. Now, last time I went, I didn't spend the whole, I didn't stay for the duration, partly because I had lots of stuff going on at home and needed to come away. This time I can go for the entire day, and I have decided that I'm going to take some of my So Frugal makes with me. Now, if you haven't already seen it, I will leave the link for my So Frugal vlog down below, but I talked about a number of patterns, and I'm going to try and make as many of them as I possibly can, because some of them are really reasonably quick makes. I'm going to take 2 with me tomorrow, possibly a third. Haven't decided on the third one yet. And the first one is the Made for Mermaids Mama Page t-shirt pattern. It's a t-shirt, tunic and dress. I'm going to make the t-shirt initially because I want it to fit in with how I'm planning on making and revealing and styling my garments. I'm also going to take the Unfettered Patterns cardigan that I shared. Now, I will pop the infographics of the 2 patterns that I'm talking about. Now, with Unfettered Patterns, and I forgot to say this in my So Frugal vlog, the instructions are sparse, and I did have a lovely lady comment in my So Frugal vlog just to sort of pre-warn me of that. Now, for me, I'm not concerned with this particular pattern because it's very straightforward. It would be the same sort of instructions for any cardigan pattern, and I'm an experienced sewist, so I wouldn't follow the instructions anyway. I mean, I always go off piece. Anybody who's been watching me long enough knows that. But it is something to be aware of if it's something you're considering doing and you've not sewn up, or you are a massive instruction follower. Just bear that in mind. But I've printed this off this week. I'm going to piece that together tonight, and I'm going to take that to make up tomorrow, because I think that'll only take me about half an hour, 45 minutes to sew up, because it's a knit piece and I'll do it all on my overlocker. The other one with obviously the Mama Page t-shirt, again, I don't think that will take me that long to make up. I think that'll only take me a couple of hours. So I am debating on taking a third piece, which is to start making up the Sabina skirt, which again, I know is a really quick and simple make, but the jury's out on that. I haven't decided, but I'm just putting it out there. That might be another plan this week. Quick sews are always great. The final thing I want to get sewn up this week is the toile for the Farish jumpsuit that I talked about last week. The Farish jumpsuit is a Jennifer Lauren handmade jumpsuit. A lot of you have commented on my last vlog to say that you'd really be keen to see this made up and how I get on with it. I've looked quite heavily into it. I am considering changing and tweaking this pattern slightly. So the pattern itself, with the drawstring that comes through, is built in. It's like a casing that's built in from when you connect the bottom to the top, and then you've got a buttonhole to pull it through. Now, I'm thinking I really like the way that the Davenport dress, it comes together with a casing on the outside that you feed through and you can tie at the front. There's a cat that's just crawled across my front window, by the way, and that's what the dog is getting all excited about. And she's used to me sitting in her spot, otherwise she would be up on the window trying to chase the cat through the window. Just to give you some context for that noise. Let me go back. I got distracted. I digress. So yeah, the Davenport jumpsuit, the Farish jumpsuit, the casing is built in the inside and the Davenport is built on the outside. And I really like the way that looks. I think it would be a fairly straightforward hack. I spent some time, I pieced together all the pattern and I spent some time studying the instructions the other night. Yes, the instruction follower studied the instructions. The instruction follower studied the instructions. The non-instruction sewer studied the instructions. I really need to learn how to get my words out correctly. And I thought if I twirl it, this would be a great fabric to twirl it in. It's like a cheesecloth, double gauze kind of fabric. It's a multi-way fabric. It would be very comfortable, very easy to wear. It would be this side that I would want to twirl. I picked this up from Legend Textiles, but this fabric was also available on the rag market. I think Sam, who is Sequin Girly Creates, and Christine, who's the Gemini Stitcher, they also picked this up. But I have just enough. I might have to make a slightly cropped version here, or maybe even the shorts version here, just to do the twirl. But I just want to see if what I want to do and the changes that I want to make to the pattern would actually work. I know that sounds crazy when I've not made the pattern, but I've had a really good look through Instagram. I've studied the pattern quite carefully, and I just feel that I would prefer an outer casing finish. And I think it would look better on the garment. It would still have a lot of the same construction. There would only be a small tweak to it. So I'm going to see how I get on with that, but I might film that process if you guys are interested in seeing how I've done that and what I've done. So film the making of this jumpsuit and film the making of the tweaks. Just so you guys can see. Let me know if it's something you'd be interested in me doing. Just pop it in the comments down below and I'd be happy to share. And if you don't worry, it's less work for me. So that's the other thing I am considering doing. Now, that will be a play on Sunday afternoon, potentially, with it being Mother's Day. I know I'll get some time just to chill out and do a bit of sewing on Sunday afternoon as well. Won't take that one to the social with me because it will require some concentration and focus, and I don't really tend to like that when I'm in social settings, although I'm going to be sewing up 2 new patterns there. They're quite straightforward, simple construction techniques, and I've had a quick browse at all of the instructions that are on those, and I feel very comfortable with what they are. I think that's everything from me this week, guys. I have got nothing else to share. I have got one more thing to share. Hopefully you haven't signed off already at that whole I'm getting ready to finish the vlog. I hit 4,000 subscribers. In fact, I have now gone over that thanks to So Frugal. But I just want to say an absolutely massive thank you to all of you that did subscribe. It's a milestone that I've hit that I'm really pleased to hit. I've been on YouTube for a couple of years now, and it just feels amazing to have hit that 4K. So thank you very much to every single one of my subscribers, those that comment week after week and that watch me religiously or that watch me ad hocly. I just appreciate it. You're all amazing, and I love doing this. I love building this content for you, and I hope to continue for as long as I possibly can. So thank you very, very much. And last of all, I've also had a Kofi or coffee bought for me through my Kofi account this week. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Jean, who purchased me a coffee. I really, really appreciate it. It's just, yeah, every time I get a coffee come through, I don't expect it, and it's just lovely. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that too. Right, I think I'm done with the gushiness. If you like this video and this content, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to see more. It is free to do so. You'll just get notified if you click the notifications bell of when I bring out content, and you get to see my lovely face on the screen to annoy you a little bit more. So take care, have a fantastic week. I hope you get lots of sewing done, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.